A Rupee Goes a Long Way by Ruskin Bond. Ranji had a 1 rupee coin. He went to Jamna's sweet shop, tossed the coin on the counter, and asked for jalebis. The shopkeeper studied the coin, said, "These coins went out of use long ago," and gave it back. Soon after, Ranji met his friend Mohinder, who held a homemade fishing rod. Ranji stared at the fishing rod. Mohinder said, "I'll sell it to you for 2 rupees. "I've got just an old 1 rupee coin," said Ranji. Mohinder said, "My uncle collects old coins. Give it to me and I'll give you the rod." Ranji was happy with the exchange. Ranji took a ride on a truck and reached the river. To his disappointment, he saw that the river was not deep enough for fishing. Dejected, he was walking back through the bazaar when Ranji saw a boy playing a flute. The boy eyed Ranji's fishing rod. Ranji eyed
A very
the
good
flute.
morning, dear children. Welcome back to the online classes of Class 6. Hope you all are good at your home. And let's start today's class with Chapter 3 of English Literature. And in the previous class, we were discussing from the English Grammar Chapter 4. And I think you all have learned that syllabus, learned that chapter exercise. And today, let's start with a new chapter, a new story from English Literature. The name of the story is "A Rupee Goes a Long Way." So what is the name of the chapter, children? A Rupee Goes a Long Way. So the author of this story is Ruskin Bond. Who wrote this story, children? Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Indian writer who has played a very important role in the growth of children's literature in India. So Ruskin Bond was an Indian writer and he played an important role. Let's go with this story and he was in this story. So before going to explanation, ma'am will explain the word meaning. So let's have a discuss about the difficult words or word meaning in this chapter first. The first word meaning is, everyone look at your book and put your fingers where ma'am is reading. First word meaning is jalebis. How many of you love to eat jalebis? Many of you, isn't it? Yes, the same jalebis is here, Indian sweet shaped like a coin. Okay. The second word meaning is went out of use. What does it mean? People stop using the coins. So the coins use में नहीं है. Third is shrugged. Shrug means raise his shoulders and drop them to show he did not care much. Shoulders को इस प्रकार से ऊपर करना और इसे नीचे करके दिखाना, उस बातों पर ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. And fourth is canal. Canal is a small passage dug in the ground to carry water to fields, crops, etc. Nahar. In Hindi we say that Nahar. That's what canal. Come to the next page, page number 26. The word meaning is that slide away. So it means move away. Next is had his eye on Ranji's fishing rod. Means wanted very much to have the fishing rod. So having his eyes on Ranji's fishing rod means somebody wanted that fishing rod very much. किसी को fishing rod बहुत ज़्यादा उसे चाहते हैं, वो चाहिए. So come to the next page. Examined means looked at it carefully. Next, startled. Startled means surprised in a sudden and unpleasant way. Okay. Next is magpie, a black and white bird with a long tail and a noisy cry. That's what magpie. Next is hesitated no longer. Did not feel unsure or wait anymore. That's what hesitated no longer. Next is trade. Trade is in Hindi we say vyapar, an exchange of things or goods between people. And next is vigorously. Vigorously means full of energy. So what is the word? Vigorously. Vigorously means full of energy. I don't have any money to spare. What does it mean? I don't have any extra money to buy the flute with. Next is thrust. Thrust means pushed the necklace quickly. So thrust means pushed quickly. The last word meaning is made a face. It means short she was not happy. यानी अपने चेहरे से पता चल जाता है वो खुश नहीं है. So children, let's start with the explanation of this story. Ma'am will be reading the story and line by line, you please put your fingers over there and listen carefully. The first line. Renji had a 1 rupee coin. So the main character in the story is Renji, a young boy, and he had a 1 rupee coin. Okay. So he made his way to Jumna's sweet shop, tossed the coin on the counter, and asked for a rupee's worth of jalebis. So with this 1 rupee coin, Renji went to the Jamna sweet shop. So where he went? He went to the Jamna sweet shop in order to buy jalebis. Why he went to the Jamna sweet shop? To buy jalebis. वो Jamna sweet shop क्यों गए थे? Jalebis खरीदने के लिए. So next line. The shopkeeper looked at the coin carefully. So when he went there and he tossed the coin over the table, so the shopkeeper looked at the coin carefully. Shopkeeper ने उस coin को बहुत ध्यान से देखा. Comes the next line. That coin no good, he said. Are you sure? Renji asked. So when he tossed the coin over there, the shopkeeper asked, that coin's no good. Coins are not good. That's not in use. So this Renji is asking the shopkeeper back. वो वापस उनसे पूछता है, are you sure? Next, these coins went out of use long ago, said the shopkeeper. Now the shopkeeper is giving reply that these coins went out of use long ago. बहुत पहले ही इन coins का use stop किया गया है. It isn't old enough to be valuable and it isn't new enough to buy anything. And the shopkeeper is explaining to Renji. Renji को explain करते हैं. It is not old enough to be valuable. It isn't old enough to be valuable. The shopkeeper is replying to Renji that these coins went out of use long ago. ये coins बहुत पहले से use में नहीं है, इस्तेमाल में नहीं है. It isn't old enough to be valuable and it isn't new enough to buy anything. Saying that it is not old enough to be valuable. वो इतना ज़्यादा पुराना नहीं हुआ, इसका मूल्य collection में रख सकते. And it is not new enough to buy anything. और कुछ thing अभी आप खरीद भी नहीं सकते हो. Renji shrugged, took the coin back and turned on the road. Now what Renji did, you know? He just took the coin back, coin वापस लिया, shrugged his shoulders. That's showing that he just raised his shoulders and dropped them to show he did not care. And he just वो ऐसे दिखा रहा था, उस बात पे ध्यान नहीं देता है. Then he just turned on the road. Next paragraph. Soon Renji was wandering through the bazaar when he heard a familiar voice behind him. So soon, अचानक से Renji was wandering, वो भटक रहा था bazaar in the market when he heard a familiar voice. Familiar voice means परिचित आवाज. Okay, he heard a voice behind him. Where are you going, Renji? There was a voice from behind asking, where are you going, Renji? It was Mohinder Singh, Renji's friend. So whose voice he heard from behind, you know? It was Renji's friend, Mohinder Singh. In one hand, Mohinder held a homemade fishing rod. So in one hand of Mohinder, there was a homemade fishing rod. घर में बनाया हुआ मछली पकड़ने का एक रॉड उसके हाथ में था. I'm not going anywhere, said Renji. Where are you going? And Renji said, Renji replying back that I'm not going anywhere. And where are you going? And here Mohinder Singh is telling him that I'm not going. I have been. Mohinder said, I was fishing in the canal all morning. And Mohinder Singh is replying that I'm also not going anywhere. I'm here only. I was fishing in the canal में नहर में सुबह से मछली पकड़ रहा था. Come to the next page, number 26. Renji stared at the fishing rod. Will you lend it to me? He asked. Now Renji started to look at the fishing rod very carefully. Okay, and he's telling that he's asking to Mohinder, will you lend it to me? वो बहुत ध्यान से उस fishing rod को देख रहा था और पूछता है, क्या आप मुझे उसे उधार दे सकते हैं? Now, Mohinder Singh, what Mohinder Singh said, look at the next line. You'll only lose it or break it. आप या तो इसे लूज करोगे, खो दोगे, इफ नॉट यू विल ब्रेक इट, आप इसे तोड़ोगे. बट आई डोंट माइंड सेलिंग इट यू, लेकिन मैं उस पर ध्यान नहीं देता, आपको देने से सहमत हूँ. 2 rupees. So for how many rupees this Mohinder Singh was lending the fishing rod to Renji? For 2 rupees. But in Renji's hand, how many rupees is there? Only 1 rupee coin, that also an old coin. Now Renji is saying that I have got 1 rupee, said Renji, but it's an old one. The sweet seller would not take it. He is telling to his friend that I have 1 rupee coin, and the sweet seller also did not take the coin because it went out of use. Now Mohinder is replying back, please let me see it. Mohinder is telling that please you give me, let me see it. He took the coin and looked it over. He took the coin and again he started to look the coin. I don't suppose it's worth much, but my uncle collects all coins. Give it to me and I will give you the rod. Now he is telling, yes, I also think it doesn't worth much. इसका ज़्यादा value नहीं है, but my uncle he collects all the coins. I will give it to him. You please give that 1 rupee old coin to me. आप please उसे मुझे दें. Come to the next line. All right, said Ranji, happy to make the exchange. Now here, Ranji now is happy because he will get the fishing rod and he can give the old rupee coin to his friend. He took the fishing rod, waved goodbye to Mohinder and set off. Now, Ranji took the fishing rod from Mohinder and he just said goodbye and set off, went away from there. After some time, a truck came. Okay, while he was walking over there, a truck came. एक truck उधर आया. Ranji knew the driver and waved and shouted to him until he stopped. Ranji knew the driver. Knew is the past form of known. वो जानते थे जब तक वो ड्राइवर गाड़ी को स्टॉप नहीं किया. Till then he started to wave and shout. Will you take me to the river? Ranji asked. I'm going fishing. Ranji asked the driver, will you take me to the river? आप मुझे river लेके जाओगे? I'm going fishing. Climb up in the back, the driver said. That's what the driver said. You just climb on the back. Ranji climbed into the back of the open truck. Soon he was watching the rod slide away from him. So the truck was open from behind. So he just climbed on there. Soon he was watching the rod slide away from him. As he climbed on the truck, the vehicle started to move away from there. Come to the next para. I think you all understood up to here. Is it not an interesting story? Yes, it's an interesting story. Let's go to the next para. Put your fingers over there, everyone. In a while, the truck stopped near the riverbed. So कुछ ही देर में the truck stopped near the riverbed. नदी के किनारे it stopped. Ranji got down and began walking along the bank. So Ranji get down from the vehicle and he just said thanks to the driver and began walking along the bank. और वहाँ उस नदी के किनारे से चलने शुरू किया. It was the dry season. Okay, it was the hot season. It was very hot there, and the river was just a shallow. Okay, shallow means less water. You can see the mud there. Okay, and muddy stream. कीचड़ से भरा हुआ stream था. There was not enough water. Very less water. Ranji walked up and down without finding water deep enough for the smallest fish. Even Ranji found out that there was not enough water. Even a smallest fish can live there. वहाँ पर एक छोटे से छोटे फिश भी रहने के लिए पानी नहीं था. No wonder Mohinder let me have his rod. He muttered. वो धीरे से muttered means धीरे से बात करना अपने आप से. He started to mutter that no wonder. इसमें कोई आश्चर्यचकित की बात नहीं है. मेरा फ्रेंड मोहिंदर ने मुझे what he had given the fishing rod. And with a shrug, he turned back. Again, he just didn't bother that. He just started to walk. It was a long, hot path to the bazaar. So, it was a very hot day and long walk. बहुत दूर उसको बाजार तक वापस चलना था. Ranji thought again of the jalebis that he had not been able to buy. Now, when he was walking towards the bazaar, he again started to think about the jalebis, okay, which he couldn't buy. He had reached a few scattered houses when he saw a boy playing a flute. Now he reached where he reached near the scattered houses. जो बहुत सारे घर थे वहां पर. He reached there and he saw a boy playing a flute. So he saw a boy playing a flute. Flute बजाते हुए एक boy को उसने देखा. In the stillness of the hot afternoon, the flute made a cheerful sound. Now Ranji is telling that in the stillness of, in the calm and quiet situation of the afternoon, okay? Hot afternoon, बहुत गर्म था, उसमें बहुत शांत है वो situation, and he is telling that the flute made a cheerful sound. The flute made a cheerful sound. Flute made cheerful sound means he became very happy by hearing that sound. Ranji stopped walking, the boy stopped playing. Ranji चलना stop किया and the boy stopped playing. Boy stopped playing the flute. The boy had his eyes on Ranji's fishing rod and Ranji had his eye on the flute. Now here the boy started to look at the fishing rod and Ranji started to look at the flute. देखो वो flute चाहिए था and this boy he want that fishing rod. Being fishing asked the flute player. So the one who was playing the flute, he asked, have you been fishing? आप fishing कर रहे थे? Yes, said Ranji. Ranji ने बोला yes. Now today I am stopping till page number 26 and the remaining story we will be learning in the next class. What happened to Ranji? Did he buy the jalebis and what had the conversation between these two boys? Everything we will learn on the next class. Read the chapters and do the word meaning as your homework. Send your homeworks regularly. Watch the online classes regularly. Whenever you are sending the homework, write your name and class on the top of the pages. And if you have any queries, you may ask in the group. Ma'am will help you to clear the doubts. Take care, children. Stay home. Stay safe.